The UDM leader, Bantu Holomisa, is still with me here as we continue to talk about issues facing the nation. We spoke about particularly the financial institutions. And you said earlier that Luthuli House is implicated, at least one person in the top six. Now, I don't want to speculate and imagine who you're talking about.
Recently, you heard that there is a company called Zongizizwe, which went to make a presentation to the former Treasurer General, Mr. Modise. And out of that, there are serious allegations, as you have read, that they asked him to arrange or help Africa Oil to get some monies from the PIC. As you all know, that transaction was approved. Whether he was involved or not, the inquiry, I'm sure, if Cyril Ramaphosa is serious, would verify such allegations. So, yes, again, there will be a document, which, there is a document which I presented to the president, which suggests that the committee, a certain committee, or Zongizizwe representatives, went to make a presentation to Mr. Modise again, and where they said these are the areas they are going to target, municipalities, and so on and so on.
So you connect this to VBS as well?
Yes, everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
And you have information, evidence in that regard? Is that what you mean, that you'll be sharing with
I gave the report to the president already in writing. I said, can't you investigate this matter? So the details, I'm sure they will be out when they decide to make them public.
And what was the president's reaction to that?
Yeah, they've acknowledged receipt as usual, so we'll see.
Okay, I'm just wondering how long ago you shared this information with him.
No,
or
you are curious. You like the high-level gossip, I can see.
It's not gossip. This is serious. It can't be gossip. This is a matter that is, of public interest to the extent that you have taken it upon yourself to raise with the president. Obviously, it's a serious matter.
Well, you can go to union buildings and find out. Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your relationship with the party, the ANC, which is your former party, by the way, and also the politics as it is unfolding in South Africa at the moment, with commissions of inquiry, internal factional battles within the ANC, the trial that you ran with the DA, trying to form a coalition government in the Nelson Mandela Bay, which did not work. One wonders if your sentiments that you expressed recently will work. Let's take a look at what you said about this.
We have had to wait patiently for this moment, but we are ready and waiting and poised to serve our people as a member of a national coalition government. That is what lies on the horizon. At that point, the sun will rise on South Africa and a new dawn will break. When this happens, the country's democracy will really come of age.
And you are confident that we are headed for coalition
and
politics?
I'm still confident that in order to survive or get out of the current quagmire, this country must never invest or put all their eggs in one basket. One-party dominance has proved that it breeds corruption. And I hope that the voters this time around will not be controlled by sentiments to say ANC or DA. Here they are in front of them. They are messing up the country. So the elections next year will be about where must I invest? Who can we trust to lead us?
But I suppose people are concerned about the sustainability of a government, and they may use Nelson Mandela Bay as an example and say, well, if people come to the party, with different ideologies and political cultures, they diverge too easily, too readily, and therefore you can't trust that they will be there over the next 3 to 5 years.
For your information, I've already approached certain foundations in this country, and they have ran workshops for political parties as to how will we be handling the issues of coalition in the event that there would be coalitions at national level. So in that workshop, we had ANC, you had DA, you had ANC was led by the chief whip, you had DA led by their chief whip, and other political parties except the EFF, which was not there. But the rest of political parties agreed.
So there's an appreciation
yes.
within the political parties
we are discussing that issue, and we are taking it serious because we have disappointed the voters of South Africa.
I read a story recently where a representative from the Northwest complained that Northwest was ranked number 4 when it comes to levels of corruption and placed under administration, and compared the Northwest province to your home province, the Eastern Cape, and said the Eastern Cape is worse but has never been placed under administration, and said, there's a lot of unfairness in terms of, can you imagine, the ranking of corruption levels in the provinces. So that's where we are now.
In actual fact, these provinces, I always call them glorified homelands, because there's a lot of similarities in them. That's why when I was head of Transkei government, I was campaigning for the dissolution of homelands. This quasi-federal system has even messed up the infrastructure we inherited in 1994. There's no maintenance, everything is falling apart, there's no discipline, there's no rural development plan, even urban planning is interrupted by people who just build anywhere in the rural areas. The rural areas, people just build anywhere, even where areas which are demarcated for livestock and growing millies, the discipline is gone.
Why, General? And also, let me warn you, which you've got a thick skin, you're a military man, and at least you've got the culture, attitude. People will say, listen to General Holomisa, he's being reactionary now. How can he compare provinces in modern-day democratic South Africa to the homelands of all places?
I'm saying to you, this is a duplication of services in the same scale as we witnessed in the homelands. How many ministers of education do we have? About 9 or 10.
Yes.
So is that not a duplication? What's the difference with the former homelands? How many ministers of health and so on and so on? And at the end of the day, there's no service in those areas. As a result, people now are frustrated. You go all over, you see people burning tires in the rural areas, destroying the very infrastructure. The highways are burning. What? Hospitals, clinics are burnt down. So there's lawlessness. So, which means the center is not holding. So the voters can no longer invest in the ANC anymore.
The Van Zyl-Slabbert Commission, which was headed by the late Van Zyl-Slabbert, made recommendations that the electoral system should be changed, and of course the report was filed away for some time. It's still there, though. Why are you, as politicians, parliamentarians, not opening up a discussion, debate on whether we should continue with this current system, particularly when it comes to provinces, because they seem to have become private fiefdoms, if you will, of the regional political players?
Well, the United Democratic Movement has been raising this in the public domain, and I hope that the ANC and DA, which has got numbers, could come on board, and we go and clean that report and see whether we cannot amend those findings with a view to have a direct, allowing people to elect directly their own president. And also you have a mixed system of constituency-based as well as proportional representation. I think it is time for us to look into that, but we are late for 29 elections to change the electoral system to be in line with what we are proposing.
Now, you have referred to service delivery protests, poor service delivery, corruption, a whole number, even factional fighting within the major political parties themselves. How do you feel about South Africa going forward? What is your level of confidence that things will improve under the current president? And I noticed you use more or less similar language when he said the new dawn recently, and you are also hoping for a new dawn.
The only thing which we need to do is to try and depoliticize the civil service, make sure that we return the powers of the accounting officers back to the DGs, and let politicians do an oversight role. Because currently, you will find that it's only the ministers who are telling the DGs what to do. And as a result, the discipline has broken down. That's why you will find that all these scandals are always surrounding the political directives. That is the area which we must focus, address the effects of political directives, restore the dignity and the powers of the accounting officers as a start.
Yes.
Then we build a professional civil service. The rest will fall into place.
And of course, as you said, that politically speaking, coalition governments will be the way to go in the future, the way you see it. And thanks very much, General, for having been my guest. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
That's all we had for you this evening, and thank you for joining me on the Modise Network with General Bantu Holomisa. Be sure to tune in next week, Saturday at 6 p.m. From us, good night to you.